Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails. I'm going to do a Remembrance Sunday, although it's Saturday, well, this will be going out mainly Sunday. Remembrance Sunday broadcast today, and I've got my puppy on there. You can see that, yeah. Got that at the local supermarket the other day. They're an old soldier selling the puppies. Well, your contributions, yeah. I'm going to talk today about an assault on staff. And do you know, listen to this. In the last 12 months, there have been in the prison service 10,568 assaults on staff. That is approximately 1 in 3. Prison officers being assaulted. And they're saying that they can't recruit to the prison service. Have an idea for that, you know. I mean, if we go back, I keep going back in time here because it's quite a while since I joined the prison service. But they used to provide housing for prison officers. Now, they can't recruit them. And obviously, I've mentioned this before, you're working in London at, say, Wandsworth, Pentonville, Wormwood Scrubs. All your wages won't allow you to rent a proper flat to keep your family in. Just don't get paid enough. As I said, you know, it's going to cost you £1,500, £2,000 a month to rent a flat in London. As for renting a house, well, that's out of the question, isn't it? So what I believe would be an idea, if the government are serious about staffing the prisons properly and providing good quality staff, apart from importing individuals from Nigeria who can't read and can't speak English, they got the little signs that they hold up, go back to your cell. Hey, what have we come to? I believe what's going to happen here, I think it would be a good, this is my idea, build massive blocks of flats, 1-bedroom flats, and the staff, which would, I believe, should be all male in a male prison, have a flat to live in whilst they're working, and you do 2 weeks on and a week off. So you would have your family in a different part of the country, perhaps, you know, a place where there isn't any employment, you know, somewhere like Blackpool, somewhere like that. You go and work in the Scrubs or the Pentonville or Wandsworth, and you get accommodation. The accommodation would be fairly basic, but a furnished 1-bedroom flat, and you get that, you use that, that's your, while you're employed by the prison service. And you do 2 weeks on, that would be 14 consecutive days, and then you get 7 days off, during which time you come home to your family. I realise it's not ideal, but it's only the same kind of idea as you get when you're in the military. I mean, when I was in the military, they stuck me in the middle of the Sahara Desert and give me a tent. 6 months in a tent. That was when Colonel Gaddafi took over from King Idris in 1969. I know it's like a history lesson when I speak, but that's what happened. I survived. And they can't staff the prisons, build massive great blocks of flats, house the prison officers there. I was in Budapest in Hungary, and I was doing a TV series. I actually had a TV series there, and we got attacked by some gypsies, so we reported it to the police. The police turned up, like Fred Karno's army. The car broke down. We had to push the car to get it, seriously, the police car, to get it started. Anyway, I was talking to one of the staff, one of the police officers, and he spoke perfect English. He'd worked at Butlins for a season, and he was telling me that they don't live in private houses, they live in barracks. The police in Hungary live in barrack blocks, and they get paid very little. I mean, I was getting, I think it was €1,000 a night, and they were getting like €1,000 a month. Don't get paid much money, I'm telling you. Anyway, but they had plenty of police officers, not that they were any use. So I'm going to talk today about assaults on staff. There has been a recent assault, and indeed it was at Worcester Crown Court on November the 4th that a prisoner called Ian Okinag, something like that, yeah, aged 32, was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment on top of his already 12-year sentence that he was serving for raping and sexually assaulting women in the town of Bristol. Well, the city of Bristol. And what he did was he got a bucket, and he had the bucket in his cell, and he filled it up with human waste, excrement and urine, came out of his cell and threw it over two officers, Lewis Heel and Michael O'Hare, and he doused them in this disgusting, obnoxious brew, and they were subsequently taken to hospital and injected to make sure that they were, like anti-tetanus and all that, because this stuff went all over them, and some actually got into their mouths and all that. This disgusting creature. When he was sentenced for the rape and the sexual assault, the judge actually said to him, "You are every woman's worst nightmare." And he's now at HMP Wakefield Monster Mansion, which is probably appropriate for that monster. Ian Okineg, Ochieng, Okineg, something like that. He is, of course, a gentleman who is rather dark, on the dark side, shall we say. And his behaviour was definitely on the dark side. Throwing a bucket of piss and excrement over staff. That's happening in the prisons all over the country. Staff are just not in control. I mean, if you're in control of inmates, you keep your eyes open. Yeah, if that's going to happen. I once got porridge thrown over me, but it was thrown from upstairs. So some inmate had got the porridge serving on the ones, gone up onto the twos and tipped the porridge. It didn't hit me head, it hit all down the side of me. Yeah. Anyway, that was a poem, wasn't there? By Spike Milligan about porridge. There ought to be a monument to porridge in this land. If it's good enough to eat, it's good enough to stand. Spike Milligan. I once got a letter off Spike Milligan. I sent him one of my books for his 80th birthday, and he kindly wrote back to me. So basically, today's little rant about the prisons is about the numerous assaults on staff. As I said, 10,568 in the year 2024. And it was that was an increase of 7% on the year before. So goodness knows what it is for 2025. We're not at the end yet. So that horrible, obnoxious bastard, Ian Okineg, all his bloody name is, age 32, has been moved from HMP Long Lartin, where the assault took place, which is a Category A prison, and they've moved into HMP Wakefield Monster Mansion. Bang him up there, that's the idea. And he got an extra 2 years in prison for administering a poisonous, noxious substance. You've got to be careful in the prisons, I tell you. And you've got to be, my opinion is, you've got to be prepared to get your retribution in first. And as it's the Remembrance Sunday, tomorrow or today, if you're watching it, as I say, I've got my little poppy there. I'm going to read you a poem that's appropriate to the occasion. This is by Wilfred Owen. Dulci et decorum est. It is right and sweet to die for your country. Here we go. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on bloodshod. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of tired, outstripped 5-9s that dropped behind. Gas! Gas! Quick, boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. But someone still was yelling out and stumbling, and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud, vile incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, dulce et decorum est, pro patria more. There you go. Wilfred Owen. And he was killed in action, by the way. Wilfred Owen, the poet. And now, an appropriate song for Remembrance Sunday. This is Masters of War by Bob Dylan. Come ye masters of war, you that build the big guns, you that build the death planes, you build all the bombs, you hide behind walls, you hide behind desks. I just want you to know I can see through your masks. You never done nothing but build to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. Put a gun in my hand and you hide from my eyes, and you turn and run farther when the fast bullets fly. Like Judas of old, you lie and deceive. A world war can be won. You want me to believe. But I see through your eyes, and I see through your brain, like I see through the water that runs down my drain. You fasten all the triggers for the others to fire. Then you sit back and watch while the death count gets higher. You hide in your mansion while the young people's blood flows out of their bodies and is buried in the mud. You've thrown the worst fear that can ever be hurled, fear to bring children into this world, for threatening my baby, unborn and unnamed. You ain't worth the blood that runs through your veins. How much do I know to talk out of turn? You might say that I'm young, you might say I'm unlearned, but there's one thing I know, though I'm younger than you, that even Jesus would never forgive what you do. Let me ask you one question. Is your money that good? Will it buy you forgiveness? Do you think that it could? I think you will find when your death takes its toll, all the money you made will never buy back your soul. And I hope that you die, and your death will come soon. I'll follow your casket on a pale afternoon. I'll watch till you're lowered down to your deathbed, and stand over your grave to make sure that you're dead. Yeah. Masters of War by Bob Dylan. Remembrance Sunday. Lest we forget.